8 Senate Democrats have broken ranks and not ended the government shutdown. My friends, the government shutdown did not end. The government is still shut down. What's happened is that 8 Democrats voted to advance the package to the floor so they can vote to reopen government later. I love how Congress is just so stupid broken, to be completely honest. The government is still shut down, and Kalshi is giving a 90% chance it will persist for at least 2 more days and maybe longer, with many people betting that the shutdown could persist upwards of 43, 4, or 5 days. And this is about 53% likelihood, according to those who are trading in this event contract. But at least, let me give the gist of where we currently are at. It's likely the government will reopen. Now, I got to be honest, this is a major L for the Republicans, not the Democrats. The Democrats is really good at pretending like this was the worst thing imaginable, when in fact, Republicans are going to give Democrats everything they want. Okay, so here's what happens. Joe Biden says, here's my budget. Republicans are like, yo, your budget's crazy. Remember when we all argued over Biden's budget being crazy? Well, the Republicans decided to pass a continuing resolution advancing Biden's spending bill forward. That's right. They ain't cutting anything. It's just advancing. It's a continuing resolution to open government. Okay. Well, Democrats said, we want more. We want illegal immigrants to get health care. They didn't literally say that because they're playing semantic games. They said ACA benefits must be extended to refugees and legal asylees. The only problem is lawful entrance, as it's described, according to Democrats, is anybody who enters the country illegally but then says the word asylum, which means illegal immigrants. Okay, so now what's going to happen is Democrats are going to get to vote on this later, probably lose, but now they can pretend like, oh no, the Republicans have taken everything from us, and they get Biden's continuing resolution advanced. That was the play the whole time. They used the shutdown to win an election, and now here we are with them saying, oh, harumph, I say, I guess we have no choice but to reopen. Well, here's the news from Fox. Let's give you guys the quick breakdown on this one. The House passed continuing resolution to fund the government through January 30th after a 40-day shutdown. So again, there's so much to, of course, stress on this. It's not even that they're going to be reopening government. It's a temporary budget, which kicks the can down the road for a few months. 8 Senate Democrats broke with their party leaders to vote in favor of a House-passed continuing resolution Sunday night, taking a major step toward ending the government shutdown. The House bill funds military construction, the Department of Agriculture, and the legislative branch through September 30th, 2026, and the rest of the government through January 30th. The final tally for the Senate vote was 60-40, the minimum threshold for passing the bill. Here are the Democrats that allowed to happen. Now, I love this one. Democratic lawmakers reel after Senate votes to reopen government. Republican-made healthcare crisis. I just want to stress this. Military construction, you're good to go. Department of Ag, you got it. And the legislative branch. Oh, I love it. They voted to pay themselves. Hey, they can't go without money. So why did these Democrats actually vote to advance this bill? Money, baby. They want to get paid. Come on now. If the government is shut down, they shouldn't get paid. And the government's only going to be open for another 2 months. Technically, 3 months, fine to be fair. But here's the game. After which, everything shuts down again. And then what? No more SNAP. So they're going to have SNAP go through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then by the end of January, they're not going to have a deal. And it's going to go tits up all over again. Well, you got John Fetterman. You got Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada. You got Jackie Rosen, Dick Durbin, Jean Shaheen, Maggie Hassan, Tim Kaine, August King. These are the individuals who broke ranks and said, let's reopen the government. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. They didn't break ranks. This is all part of the plan. This is the play. It's always the play. We had on a feller from the Freedom Caucus. This is a year or two ago. And he said that when they were going to vote to repeal Obamacare, the Republicans had the majority. However, the speaker went to this one member and said, vote against it. We need the issue. So instead of repealing Obamacare, and that's what Republicans claim, They kept it going because it was a lie the whole time. Well, apparently Democrats are freaking out. Let's check that out. Before we do, my friends, I implore you, you must go to timcast.com, click join us, and get in our Discord community. $10 a month is all it takes to help support the work that we do. And you know, the media is lying every single day. These institutions, though dying, still have a grasp on the narrative machine. And we are close. But we can't do it without you. You go to timcast.com, you join our Discord community because community is our strength. Tens of thousands of people, early shows, after shows, people helping each other, programming video games, playing video games together. This community will bring us together, build culture, and ensure that we never lose. As a member, you support this community and the work that we do to challenge that narrative machine. So please, if you see as I see and would seek as I seek, then go to timcast.com and join our Discord community. But here's the story from Fox News. Democratic lawmakers reel after Senate votes to reopen government. They say the Senate struck a late Sunday deal to begin the path to reopening the government after 8 Democrats joined Republicans to reach 60 votes, sparking backlash from those who opposed the spending bill. Democratic leaders voiced intense opposition, arguing that the continuing resolution fails to address the nation's worsening healthcare challenges. Several prominent lawmakers spoke out immediately following the vote, framing it as a test of priorities and moral leadership. Rep. Ro Khanna of California and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Chuck Schumer is no longer effective and should be replaced. I agree with Ro Khanna on so much. If you can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? I don't agree with Democrats. They're lying. And I've got, guys, AI is taking over. So I got to subscribe to my other channel, youtube.com/@TimPool. I've got a story for you guys coming up at 2 p.m. today. AI is taking over, and I'm going to show you what's going on. But I want to stress this. The reason why I bring this up is that when you wonder why it is Democrats are lying about everything, and it seems so obvious, I genuinely believe that there is an attempt by machine learning, AI, whatever you want to call it, I don't know about AGI or ASI, to create a cult, sheep lemming faction, whatever, that marches in lockstep with the narrative machine to its own ends. But I'll explain that more later. Anyway, I bring this up because I kind of have to here's the quote. America is in the midst of a Republican-made healthcare crisis, a crisis so severe, so urgent, and so devastating for American families that it cannot support a continuing resolution that fails to address it, Schumer said. Schumer said the Democrats have continually pushed for meaningful reforms to the healthcare system. For months and months, Democrats have been fighting to get the Senate to address the healthcare crisis. This bill does nothing to ensure that the crisis is addressed. I am voting no, and I'll keep fighting for months and months. It's all a lie. It makes no sense when you read it, right? This is the point I was making with the AI stuff. And I won't get into all the AI stuff, but I'll point this out. Every day, I read the news and I say, that's not quite correct. Republicans said Democrats were holding up the funding bill because they want to give illegal immigrants health care. Fact. Democrats lied and said it's not true. MSNBC, CNN, all of these big news outlets, they come out and basically back the Democrat position. They don't want to give illegal immigrants health care. CNN says Republicans are lying. Well, here's the truth. When you actually dig into the CR and the demands from Democrats, you find Democrats wanted to extend Obamacare, ACA subsidies to non-citizens, DACA recipients, refugees, asylees, etc. Lawful entrants, as it is described. Republicans are saying, dude, Joe Biden let in 20 million people. Okay, you can't give them all health care benefits. The Democrats said they're legal. So when the Republicans were like, those are illegal immigrants, Democrats said, no, they're not. And then the media backed their claims. Instead of telling you the truth, that someone who shows up in this country illegally is stopped by CBP and says asylum, they're still an illegal immigrant. Just because they say asylum doesn't make them all of a sudden de facto a lawful entrant. But the Democrats argue it does, which basically means open borders, and that we're going to give taxpayer-funded health care benefits and subsidies to non-citizens. Why was the media lying? What is this narrative? You know, the people who work at these media outlets aren't that stupid, right? Something is strange. And to be honest, I think evidence points to the possibility that we're already manipulated by AI. And it could range from somebody working at Fox News, or I shouldn't say Fox News, but one of these corporate outlets, maybe even Fox News, to be honest, is utilizing artificial intelligent APIs in their story sourcing, and it's being fed through them. Or to the craziest, AI is actually writing all these articles, and these people aren't real. There's actually a really interesting scandal that happened a few years ago where I think it might have been ESPN. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. But there was a website that had fake writers. AI-generated images and names were writing articles. Very creepy. But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. Let's keep it political. Despite the fact that everybody's cheering and claiming the government is about to reopen, Kalshi. 43.9 days is the current forecast, up to 43.2, it says from the start, I suppose. The current shutdown is at 40 days. 90% chance that it happened, that's open for more, the shutdown is more than 42 days. 59, which went up, 43 days. Now hold on there a minute. You're looking at this and you're like, wait. That's a major bet. Look at this. More than 42 days? Why? If I vote no on this, I'm getting like 9-1 odds. I put $100 down, it's going to pay me out $1,000. Why would the government be shut down 2 more days if they just voted to reopen it? Because they didn't, and they probably won't. So we will see. Although I do think it's funny that this news broke last night. So last night, the story breaks. Actually, let me pull this one up from Fox News. 8:05 a.m. is when this article was written. The Democrats' reeling is from 5:48 a.m. And still, the prediction markets have not adjusted. Now, I'm not saying the prediction markets are absolute and always correct. But let me just tell you, my friends, there are a large amount of people staking a lot of money. It's a $48 million pool of trades. 91% chance it will stay shut down for several more days. In fact, the fact that there's a 58% chance 43 days is pretty crazy. And I think it actually gets crazier than that. 2-1 that it's closer more than 44 days. Man, what's wild is you got a value bet for those trading on this stuff. Listen, what's to stop the government from being reopened tomorrow? That's what's wild. It's wild that so many people are claiming on social media that it's been the shutdown is over, despite the fact the shutdown is not over. But we'll see, my friends. We'll see how this plays out, of course. There's still a lot going on. Donald Trump says he'll issue $2,000 tariff dividends to all except high-income people. This is all very strange, what is currently happening. Very, very much so. So currently, we are actually, let me do this. Let me pull the shutdown clock, White House. Government shutdown clock. We're still shut down, guys. Everybody keeps claiming that we're open, but we are not open. And I hope you understand. Maybe by the time you watch this video, the government has been reopened because, although these are news videos, some people do watch them later into the next day. But we will see. What I can say is this. We are dealing with unprecedented times. We have the longest government shutdown in history, a battle that's not stopping, an ideological rift, the narrative control machine, physical violence. We've got a story. Latin Kings issued shoot-on-sight orders to their gang members on ICE agents. Latin Kings told their members, kill ICE on sight. That news breaking as of yesterday. And viral videos of ICE being attacked. The escalation is right before our eyes, both politically and at the street level. So, my friends, I don't know how this resolves itself, but maybe it's not going to resolve itself all too nicely. We'll see. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned, more to come. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next segment.